go. Okay. Let me get this shared over. Yep. Let me do this. Okay.
Trump says China has agreed to stop fentanyl.
China has agreed to stop fentanyl. It's good news. I like that. Okay, so let me pull up. So I made a mistake this morning. This happens to me sometimes. So I caught the return to value trade after the open. All right, we back tested upper band, could not break above it. So we got this beautiful sell off. I got 2 scalps on it, and then I caught a bunch of scalps off the VWAP Bounce here, which was perfect. This put me up over a. Well, I also got $200 last night, so it's actually $1120, over $1,120. But what happened was I forgot to change my risk settings from Friday, which I put at $1,000. I forgot to raise my daily profit trigger, and now I'm locked out. So I've locked in a $1,100 day today, which is not my profit target. About $2,000 is my profit target, but not a bad way to start a Monday. I'll take it. So we'll move over and we'll continue to take some trades together. We'll continue to watch this market, and we'll see what type of opportunities are available to us. So welcome everybody on YouTube. I do stream live for the first 30 minutes of the morning for free. We trade all morning in the premium Discord till about 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've had some decent trades already this morning. We've had the return to value setup right out of the core setups guide. And then we've had the VWAP bounce. Now this looks like an anemic bounce, but this bounce from VWAP was almost nearly 50 points. 200 ticks. More. 60 points. More. Almost 70 if you caught the whole thing. Obviously you won't. Let's say you caught half of it. 50 points, 200 ticks. Not bad at all, guys. Great setups. Hopefully you guys traded those. Those are right out of the core setups guide. VWAP, return to value trade so far this morning. Morning, Richard. Welcome to the YouTube. Good morning to all of our members. We got a bunch of new members in the Discord today. I'd like to welcome you all. Excited to have you in on this journey. We got David, Aaron, Art, Bob Burner, Darian, Darren, D-Bomb, Chuck, Evelyn, Greg, Homebroker, JD, JP, Jerry, JJ. Man, this list has gotten a lot longer since I started reading out all the welcoming everybody. Corey, Laura, Lager, Maximus, Mike, Monty, Nisha, Moretsky, Pablo, Power Dan, Price Action Man, Robert, Sammy, Subri, Surya, Trader, Poppy, and Tron. Good morning, guys. Good morning, William. Welcome to the YouTube. All right, let's see what type of trades we have this morning. So far, VWAP is holding. Okay, what we also have is this value area low on the session here. All right, so this looks like a decent place to go long. The order flow has not flipped to any significant buying yet. Yeah, there already was a good VWAP bounce trade already. Over 60 points in NQ. If you caught it on ES, this was, much smaller, 50 ticks, 10 points. NQ is the trade. We had the vicious bounce on NQ. So that was nice. All right, I'm going to drop my volume profile right here around the open. All right, we're in this tight range. If we can start expanding this range to the upside, this would start looking really bullish, guys. Good place to get long. Stops would be under VWAP. But right now we are trading in value, guys. If you look at the volume profile, right, we've formed this distribution. All right, it has its own value area high and its own value area low. It has a point of control. Okay, until we can fundamentally break out of this value area, we can expect to continue chopping here. All right. So really the better place to get long was down here at the bottom of this base. All right, if you're buying up here, you're buying into the top of a distribution. So not a great price point. You could easily get stopped out before this thing decides to go higher. So we're going to watch this. We're going to be patient. Let's take a look at the other markets. Oil, return to value, VWAP bounce. Okay, we have an initial bounce on oil so far. Oil's also very bullish.
The EU was the most difficult on drug subsidies.
Gold, return to value from the bottom side. Look at this, break in, back test of lower value. Also the established now initial balance. And then look at this. VWAP has been holding on gold beautifully. And the initial balance high together, beautiful confluence. So if you're a gold trader, you got some nice setups there as well. And now we wait for the next setup to materialize. All right, you could be in a long from VWAP if you took that. I did take it. I'm already out of it. Made good money, and I'm up. This says 934, but this doesn't include my profits from last night. So actually, if I go like this, you can see this is my live account on Tradeovate. This is all cash. If I go from the 11th to the 12th, let's do custom range to the 12th. Okay, so this includes last night's profit. So I'm up $1,120, 8 winning trades, 0 losing trades, $1,120 in profits, and I'm locked out for the morning, guys. That was not by intention. I forgot to update my risk settings in Tradeovate, so it hit this threshold and locked me out. But I'm okay. Locks me in for the day. Decent profits. What I love to do after a winning day is I go over to pay myself, right? So I go to my live account, to my bank account, and I'm paying myself $1,120.12 today. Not bad before 10 a.m. on a Monday, right? So that goes right in with Tradeovate. That amount is usually in my bank account by this evening, right? Here's the notification. Your withdrawal request has been received and will be processed in the order it was received. That usually happens in less than 10 minutes. And then I get my money in my account usually by 5 or 6 o'clock Eastern time. So it's awesome. That's why I love Tradeovate. I have the lifetime license.
The cost of prescription drugs.
And I'll switch over here to another account so I can continue taking trades and showing you guys
80 to 90%
how to do this thing. We're being patient, guys, because there is not much here right now. We have formed a tight distribution. Okay, so I'm back to 0. Let's see how we do. Okay. Sure. So everybody's who's new, there isn't a whole lot of price action going right now. I do like the long off of VWAP until we materially break VWAP and go lower. This still looks pretty bearish. We're holding VWAP. I'm sorry, it looks very bullish. And then we have this huge volume area down here. So long as the trade, I wouldn't take it here. Down here was the better opportunity if you could get around 787. All right, so for everybody's who's new, okay, you can get these layouts for TradingView right in the free Discord. So that's available. If you're not in the free Discord, there is a link in the description of this video where you can join that. So David asked, how long does it take to become profitable with your trading style? That is extremely subjective. I have people in the Discord who have been trading a couple of years who are not profitable, and they switched over to this trading style, and they seem to be doing really well within a couple of weeks, but they have a couple of years experience. I think for somebody who's brand new to trading, typically, and nobody likes to hear this, and this doesn't sell Discords or premium memberships and mentorships, but I think it takes a couple of years to become a consistent, profitable trader. I think a lot of people come into this with unrealistic expectations to make money, in the first couple of months, having never traded before, and I don't think that's a realistic expectation. It took, I've been trading for a long time. I started in 2009, right after the financial crisis. I haven't been a full-time trader that entire time. I was full-time back then. I traded with a prop firm. I started a business in early 2010s, and I went full-time with that, still trading on the side. I built that business up to multiple seven figures. I sold it a couple of years ago, and I got back into full-time trading then. So I've spent many years learning how to trade and practicing how to trade. I've also been a trading educator with other very popular trading groups.
We held a meeting with foreign trade companies today.
I don't hold for long. No, I am a scalper, so my average trades last a couple of minutes. But I also make $1,000 to $2,000 a day in less than 2 hours. So if that doesn't fit your style, we do have traders that take longer trades, but almost all trades in here are less than 30 minutes because we trade level to level, no matter what. We're not looking for big home runs.
Come down a lot.
We are base hitters here, consistent, profitable traders making money each and every day, not trying to swing for the fences. So let's revert. Okay, so David, with all that said, I don't think it's uncommon to be able to find consistency in 3 to 6 months. I think that's very possible if you're very disciplined and you really dedicate yourself to the process. I don't think you're going to be a millionaire in that period of time, but I do think you can start finding some real consistency. So far long has been the trade off of VWAP. All right. Guys, if you're in the free Discord, I have full-length videos on all of my settings, and I'm going to put that in here right now. So you guys can have that.
China Commerce Minister says China and US trade talks created conditions for further bridging differences and deepening cooperation, according to a Commerce Ministry statement.
There you go, guys. That video right there, save it. That has all of my settings that you're looking at right now with all the indicators.
Trump
So
says the US will pay the same as other countries.
Feel free to watch that after this, and you'll have a breakdown. But I want to focus on the market right now. Okay, is point of control bounce a good setup for you, Drysdale? Yeah, I think if point of control is lining up with another level, I like it. And it could be a late entry point too, if we're starting to get some up volume, right? So if we drop the point of control here or the volume profile.
25 a.m. Eastern Time, Fed Kugler speaks on the economic outlook.
All right, so it's kind of lining up with VWAP, pretty close, 15 points.
In under 10 minutes time now.
It does look like a good buy point unless the sellers really rip this thing lower and there's a fundamental change. All right, Jay said I'm 2.5 years in and made my first money this year. Yeah, absolutely, Jay. I don't use TickQ, I use regular Tick. I find that's absolutely suffices for both NQ and ES. Okay. So, my first year of trading, I lost money, a lot of money. My second year trading, I lost money. My third year trading, I broke even. I finally found consistency in year 4. guys. 4. Year 3 was a break-even year for me. So, and now I have real consistency, and it's really, really nice, but it took a long time to get there. So I'm not here to sell anybody false dreams, false pretenses. I'm a straight shooter, and I'll give it to you honest. Some people appreciate that. Some people, are deflated when they hear that news. But sometimes that's what people need to hear. I need to be able to sleep at night. And in order for me to sleep at night, I need to be honest. No, nothing good in life comes easy, Jay. Absolutely a lot of journaling. Ton of journaling. Years, every day. I believe the real success comes in journaling. Right? It's kind of like the practice. If you play sports, you're not getting good when it's game time, right? Game time is performance time. Practice is when we get good and get ready for the game. And the game is when we trade live every day. Yep. I mean, we're competing with some of the smartest people in the world, right? And their primary goal is to separate us from our money. That's essentially what we're doing, right? Very, very smart people. So I don't think we need to be very smart, but we do need to exploit the edges in the market. I can tell you right now, hedge funds and institutions cannot scalp the way I do. They just can't. The market is not liquid enough for them to take big enough positions in the time frames I do to be able to make the money they need to make. Now I can trade a couple of minis, make really good money for me. I'm not held responsible to investors or the CEO of a bank. David, I mostly trade NQ, but we're always watching ES, oil, and gold. I'll also keep an eye on the Dow and the Russell. But I tend to trade NQ a lot. I do. I have a lot of success with it. I'm really good at it. And, there's definitely opportunities in other markets. We'll watch. I have oil, gold, silver, copper, Bitcoin, and then the other indexes up here that I'm watching. So good topic. What does your trading journaling look like? Are you syncing with TradeZilla or using your own spreadsheet or handwriting or all three? Yep. So Tradeovate keeps track of my trades. I don't break down every single little scalp anymore like I used to. I keep track of my overall metrics, which is kept right in Tradeovate. So I'm always reviewing my metrics on a day-to-day, weekly, monthly basis. And when I was really actively journaling, I'll share that. But if you go into the journaling section in the Discord, there's a whole spreadsheet. But there's the psychological aspect of it too. So we're rejecting from the value area high here on the volume profile, right? No real good trades. I mean, the trade right there was shorting the value area high, fading value area extremes off the volume profile.
In 5 minutes time now, after 10, 20.
Yes, emotions are absolutely imperative. But more so, how are your emotions impacting your trading? Right? We're all going to feel emotions. That's not the bad part. Right? You can't control your emotions. It's how you react to them.
In less than 5 minutes time now.
We're all going to get fearful. We're all going to get excited. We're all going to get, greedy, desperate. All these emotions are natural. It's how we handle them that is imperative. I don't tell anybody that you should control your emotions. They come whether you like it or not. It's how you react to them. If we can control our emotions, we'd be robots. You ever get angry at something and wonder why you got so angry at it afterwards, after the fact? Or a family member or a spouse, and you yelled at them, but you totally said things you didn't mean. Right? You can't control that. That's your emotions controlling you.
Trump threatens targeting cars if drug
We can get
prices
better
rise.
at how we react to that anger or those emotions and not say mean things, not react, but the anger will still be there. Exactly, Ed. And I practice a form of meditation called Vipassana that tells me that everything in life is impermanent. Everything comes and goes. Everything. Nothing is permanent, including our feelings, including our emotions, including the very body you're in right now. Everything is impermanent.
6 million barrels per day in April.
Okay, back down to point of control. So it'll be interesting to see what we do in this area. I mean, these currently, based on our principles, are all long spots. Okay, we have point of control. We have lower value. Let's take a look what the cumulative delta is doing. Man, flat as a pancake. So it could be an area to scale in there. That was a nice little scalp. It's a quick $200 on one contract. Right off point of control. You see that, Chuck? That was the trade we were just talking about.
Trump says we will do whatever we have to with trade. Trump says we'll open up the US market
Nice,
to
Ed.
drug imports.
Sure. So home broker's asking how delta affects my trading. So what I need to be careful of, and this happened last week, I get too dialed in on the delta, and I'll start trading the delta by itself, and that gets me in trouble. I need to use it for confirmation and confluence, right? So what helped here is that there was no substantial selling, right? We're kind of flat. We're in a little bit of an uptrend. We got green on the histogram. So, you know, it looks like buyers are in control. So a good place to take a quick long was point of control. We look for divergences. So cumulative delta is doing one thing and price is doing another. That looks like a fake out. Don't trust that move in price. And then we have confirmation when cumulative delta is doing the same thing price is. That confirms our move. So we can trust that the buying is going to continue moving it up or the selling is going to continue moving price down. There are some modules in the course on cumulative delta, but at most it's used as confirmation and conviction. And there was a good long, guys, right up point of control, Chuck. Nice. So we got some confluence with a fade value area extreme for the London Open, anchored VWAP, and lower band 2. So we had a couple of things going on in this area. Ed asks, are you familiar with Peter Schatz's work? I don't think that I am. I have a book on Vipassana. I don't know if is that the original author of it? Because I don't know if I'm familiar with it. This bottom, so this is cumulative delta right here, and this is a delta histogram. They're essentially the same thing. Cumulative means it's just keeping track of the buyers and sellers over the entire session, whereas the histogram is just on a per candle basis.
10 seconds for comments.
So in each 5-minute candle, is there more buyers or sellers? Aggressive buyers or sellers, so market orders. Okay, looks like
so Kugler says trade policy is shifting.
So price is going down and the cumulative delta is going up, right? That's a bit of a divergence.
Progress on disinflation has slowed. It has become hard to judge the underlying growth of the economy, and Kugler says, I support keeping rates stable at the current level. The Fed is in a good position to deal with.
I'll have to check it out. So I actually took a course called Trading Composure, and the guy is a trader and also a Vipassana meditation instructor, and he combined the two, and I found it immensely helpful. So guys, I do like longs. I continue to like longs here. Now I'd like to get a little closer to VWAP. See if we can scale into a little bit of a, nice, that put me up 300. Little scalp longs, guys, right here, because we are holding. Now there's a little bit of a material change here in the cumulative delta. I'd be a little wary of longs here now. Looks like sellers are starting to take a bit of control. but they could be being absorbed. So we'll see what happens. But I'm not taking another long. I did, Ed, and I've been meaning to do a session on this. So I'm going to put that in my book.
Speaking on some pharma shares here, CVS down around 4.3%. United Health off by around 1% as is Trump speaking on healthcare.
Okay, let's see what happened on here. I don't like longs anymore until we show some conviction with the buyers. It's trading composure. You don't need to buy the course, guys. I'm gonna do it for you. You don't need to buy it. It's simple enough and easy enough for me to teach you guys without having to pay for it. It's an expensive course too. Okay, this is why I don't like longs anymore. Look, the sellers, you can see it on the cumulative delta increasing, right? I don't want to be buying longs into a heavy selling. I need to see it. Oh, Dinesh, you're back on options, huh? Ed, I'm just another guy who was lucky enough to have the resources to get a lot of good teaching and help. Okay, so now we're going to expand this distribution to the downside. I'd be very, very careful with longs here. This thing could drop out. So we're going to wait. I'm going to use the restroom. I'll be right back. So our next big level will be down here at lower band. That's, 100 points away. Russell's already below lower band and Dow is still above VWAP. So very mixed market. Here we have now an initial balance. So let's see what we get here. Ooh, look. So 50% extension is also at lower band. I like that.
The S&P 500.
Lower band is also pretty close to the value area high on this distribution. Well, it's about a 40-point gap. Yeah, so I'll see if we get down there. I'll look for a long down there. Now there is a bit of a breakout short here. I don't really trade breakout shorts like this, but if you're kind of into that type of stuff.
We'll also post Alfred Kugler's full speech on the economic outlook on the feed for those interested. But just keep in mind that Q&A is also expected from Fed Kugler, so we could get some more comments from her in a little while.
Hey JP, yes there is. But it's for premium members only. So the YouTube goes for about half an hour. I'm actually going to wrap up the YouTube here shortly. And then members in the Discord have access, and I trade till about 12 p.m. So another hour and a half for members. So there's a link in the description. You can try out a full week trial. Oh, okay. There's a picture. If you go to the Join Live Trading channel, there's a little chat bubble next to it, and it says Open Chat. There's a little chat bubble next to it. Click on that. So we can see a bit of a back test of the IB low here.
The US has welcomed the European Union proposal to cooperate on mutual investments and economic security challenges while continuing to provide political clarity on the possible outcome of trade negotiations between the two sides. This is according to people familiar with the matter. The EU and US negotiators kick-started talks last week with the bloc presenting a menu of options that could form the basis of formal trade negotiations. The options included investments in areas such as liquefied natural gas and AI, as well as working together in strategic sectors like steel, cars, chips, aviation, pharmaceuticals, and critical raw materials, according to sources on the wires.
So I kind of like the short with a little bit of a retracement here. We'll see what happens. So guys, thank you for joining us on YouTube. I stream for free on YouTube for the first 30 minutes of the session. Jody, Tick Strike is awesome. Appreciate you guys joining us. We're going to keep trading in the Discord. For those of us on YouTube, you can pick up a free week trial to the Discord. Absolutely free. Check us out. If you like it, stick around. There's a link for that in the description of the video, traderdrysdale.com. Thank you for joining us. Come on over to the Discord, and we're going to keep on trading. Have a good day, guys.